On Friday, July 18, 2008, shortly after 9 p.m., a single gunshot tripped through the bustling night near the Gwinnett Place Mall in Duluth, Georgia. A witness from the bus station across the street called 911 to report the shooting. 911 paramedics and detectives from the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene and found an African-American woman lying on the ground with a single gunshot wound to the chest. She was stabilized and rushed to the hospital where she later succumbed to her injuries. The victim was later identified as 40-year-old Gennae Coleman. Investigators were left stunned with the lack of evidence at the scene. The investigation that followed was packed with twists that the detectives could never see coming. But was Gennae murdered by someone she knew? And what could have been the reason behind it? Hello, and welcome back to Unveiling the Abyss, Crime Story Time, where we cover solved, unsolved, and twisted cases from around the world. Today, we dive into another disturbing case with an insane twist, the case of Gennae Coleman. But before we delve any further, please take the time to show your support by subscribing to our channel, liking our videos, and clicking on that notification bell to receive the latest videos straight to your inbox. Without further delay, let's dive into another crime mystery. Duluth, Denver, Georgia, is a small town with all the necessary big city amenities. Its 31,800 inhabitants get to enjoy a generous mix of modern living and outdoor activities. Named as the Tree City in 1989, Duluth is dedicated to maintaining its green spaces in an ever-expanding, urban world. Its inexpensive cost of living attracts many families to its vibrant city. Its dense suburban feel also adds to the attraction, with the chance of falling victim to a violent crime being 1 in every 1,000 people. It's considered a fairly safe city to live as well. But it was here in 2008 that a horrific crime befell Gennae Coleman. Gennae Coleman was born to parents, Geraldine and Robert Coleman, on October 2, 1967, in Elkhart, Indiana. She was the third of 5 siblings and had 2 sisters named Rhonda and Camilla and 2 brothers named Edwin and Vincent. Her brother, Edwin Newsom, described her as being dedicated, passionate, and inspiring. She was a phenomenal teacher. I was actually in her class a few years. Her ability was very awesome to see. At just 40 years old, Gennae had bigger goals ahead. She was awarded certification that allowed her to open her very own preschool. But these dreams were shattered by a single gunshot. The sound of a single gunshot rang out at a busy intersection in Duluth, Georgia, just after 9 p.m. on Friday, July 18, 2008. Witnesses from the bus station across the road from the Gwinnett Place Mall. The sound of a single gunshot rang out at a busy intersection in Duluth, Georgia, just after 9 p.m. on Friday, July 18, 2008. Chet as an African-American man pulled a woman from a car and dumped her on the ground before speeding off. One of the witnesses made a call to 911 as others tried to assist the woman. Paramedics and detectives from the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene and found an African-American woman lying on the ground with a single gunshot wound to the chest. A quick search of the immediate area and the victim yielded no identification, and no one present at the scene recognized her. She was rushed to the Gwinnett Medical Center as investigators asked questions to those who witnessed the crime. From the bus driver, they learned that an African-American man had approached the woman who was seated in a gold-colored car. The bus driver said she watched as he placed his hand on the driver's door, leaned in and began talking to the woman. The man had been wearing a white t-shirt with green sleeves. Leading the investigation was Detective Damian Cruz from the Gwinnett County Police Department. As he walked around the scene looking for answers, he received some bad news. Luke was on the side of the investigation team. In an act of providence, A cigarette butt was discovered inside the car under the driver's seat. In interviewing Janae's family, detectives came to learn that she never smoked or allowed anyone to smoke in her car. They therefore knew the cigarette butt belonged to the killer. It was now up to the forensics team to extract enough DNA from the butt in order to create a profile and find the killer. Upon reviewing the surveillance cameras from both areas, the police found an individual wearing clothes matching the description of the witness in both footages. The man had been wearing a white t-shirt with green sleeves. Leading the investigation was Detective Damian Cruz from the Gwinnett County Police Department. As he walked around the scene looking for answers, he received some bad news. The cigarette butt found in the car. They had found the investigators understood they arrested Donald Killer February 3, 2010. The DNA results came have anything to do with the crime. Donald maintained that he had never seen the victim or her car and insisted that the DNA evidence was misleading. The investigators were in for a bizarre turn of events when they showed the surveillance footage to Donald. He claimed that the person in the videos was not him but his identical twin brother, Ronald Edward Smith. Even the phone number the police had traced belonged to Ronald. For the uninitiated, DNA gets split between twins and is indistinguishable as identical twins have identical DNA profiles. When Donald's other family members, such as his parents and sister, confirmed the individual seen in the footage was Ronald, the police were in for a fix. They arrested Ronald on February 6, 2010. When his fingerprints matched the ones on the victim's car and cell tower, information revealed that his phone had been in the area of the crime on the night of Janae's murder. The jury did not believe the 54-year-old and convicted him of murder, carjacking, and possession of a firearm during a crime. He was sentenced to life in prison for the murder, 20 years for carjacking, and 5 years for firearm possession.